Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell so you get a notification of when we release a new video. Today, I'm sitting with Shelly Moreno from Harvard House Chartered Accountants. Shelly is our tax consultant. And we're going to chat a little bit about immigration and finances. Shelly, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rob.
So, Shelly, we were always concerned about people as to whether they had formalized their immigration, certainly when we were sitting with people doing their wills. And then a number of years ago, we had the press come out with this whole alarmist thing about government's going to stop you from immigrating your money. You've got to wait 3 years. But that's not, in fact, the case, is it? So can you just tell us, how does this immigration of finances now work?
Sure. So since 1st of March 2021, you no longer are seen to financially immigrate.
Yes.
You now, SARS looks to see whether you have ceased residency. And the way they look at that is, are your taxes up to date before
Yes.
you can take money out of the country?
Yes.
So your SARS status, whether you're resident or non-resident, and whether your taxes are up to date, are really important before you can take money out.
So, Shelly, am I correct that historically it was really about the Reserve Bank that allowed you to get your money out, but now it's really about SARS that controls the process?
Yes, it is. And there's a reason behind that, because SARS wants to see that the people that have become non-resident have done their exit tax for capital gains and declared what they needed to declare.
So if we've got viewers who have children who are outside of the country, they haven't gone the process of formal immigration, would you say that it's probably worth checking out what your status is, because it may have tax implications for when you left?
Absolutely. SARS could still have you as South African tax resident,
Yes.
in which case they are entitled to tax you on your worldwide income after certain deductions and exemptions. But if they've got you as South African resident, you think you're non-resident, you could have a problem with SARS.
So what typically, give us sort of big picture, what are the things that proves that you're a non-resident? What are the things that you guys look at?
So to be a non-resident, the double taxation agreement comes into it quite a lot. Most countries have a double taxation agreement with South Africa.
Okay.
So when you move overseas, you could be living there for 6 months or so before the double taxation agreement could make you resident in that country.
Okay.
So from a resident's point of view, you need to find out when you move. You should really see a tax consultant in another country to find out when they say that you're resident in their country.
Okay.
When you're resident in both of them, and if there is a double taxation agreement, you need to see what applies there, so that one country has to give up taxing rights.
Yes, okay. So, Shelly, one of the things we're really worried about in this situation when we come to immigration is this thing called exit tax. So can you explain what an exit tax is?
Sure, Rob. Exit tax is a capital gains exit tax, and SARS deems you to sell your worldwide assets that you hold at the time that you immigrate, or you cease to be resident. So there are 2 exceptions to that. One, if you have property in South Africa, and the second is assets of a permanent establishment.
Would that be like a business?
Correct.
Okay.
So it depends on what you hold at the time as to what capital gains tax is deemed to be paid. The problem is you haven't actually sold the assets. So finding the cash to pay can be a problem, but SARS deems you to have sold your worldwide assets at the time.
Okay. And the reason we're concerned about all this is because if you are due to inherit from a family member who's resident in South Africa, and that's when it's really going to shine the light, because you're going to want to take your money. Let's say I'm living in the UK, I might want to take my inheritance back from a family member who's died here. They're then going to ask me the questions, and that may illuminate that I didn't do things correctly. Is that right?
Correct. As soon as you're non-resident, I think that kind of flags you in terms of banks moving the money across.
Yes.
it is actually one of 3 exceptions for non-residents. So if you receive an inheritance, if you have income from a trust, or if you get a SARS refund,
Yes.
you're not technically supposed to get a tax clearance as a non-resident.
Yes.
If you weren't born in this country, they wouldn't ask for it. But if you were, they can still ask for a tax clearance.
Okay.
That seems to be what's happening rather than the rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is something that people should really look at and maybe chat about their children who are resident elsewhere. It might be worth regularizing your tax affairs before you do anything further. Shelly, thanks so much for joining us. It was really good to have you. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to tune in next time. Like and subscribe and click the bell. Cheers then.